There are three standout suburbs in the greater Memphis area that you want to consider if you're buying or selling a home here. My name is Garth Ward. I help people buy and sell homes. Reach out to me at my phone number on the screen or in the description section. Let's get straight into the criteria that we're going over. Number one, we want to go over the infrastructure. How many new businesses are coming to town? How many shopping opportunities are there? And then we have number two, the residential build out. How many homes are actually being built inside of this area, and what does that growth look like? And number three, the overall living conditions with schools, crime, and everything associated with what it actually looks like to live in each one of these three. Let's get straight into where they actually are. When you look at greater Memphis, you actually see a couple large bands around the interior of the city, and all three of these are on the exterior bands of the city. Number one, you can go north. Number two, you can go northeast. And number three, you can go southeast. Those are the three main areas that you're going to go if you're trying to find the best possible suburbs for growth. The first one I'm going to start with is one that isn't talked about quite as much. It's actually called Millington. If you go north of Memphis, you're going to find a town called Millington. If you are in the military at all, you might be more familiar with it because it's very close to the base. So if you're going to be here and you're only going to be here for a few years, that might be the place where you land. It's got great appreciation. There's new construction starting. And it also has a lot of new shopping centers, strip malls, and mixed use facilities coming to the area. And by mixed use, what I mean is there are condos or apartments over retail shops. And that makes for a very interesting build out of a potential urban core that's coming to Millington. Number two, we have Arlington. That is if you go northeast, you're going to find Arlington. And that's actually where me and my family landed after moving from Seattle. We absolutely love it. Here is why. We're seeing rampant growth from a residential new construction perspective. So if you want to buy a new home, they are absolutely everywhere. Make sure you do get a representative to help you walk through that process and negotiate on your behalf. I know they're new builders, and you assume that the house is going to be as good as it possibly can be, but there is a process to it, and there is quite a bit that you can negotiate inside of that process that a representative will absolutely help you do better with. So we've got lots of new construction coming to the area, and we even have a lot of new commercial spaces. We have a brand new Kroger that just came into town. We just got a Chipotle. We're getting a Captain D's. We're getting several new buildings built every single year. We just got a Scooters. We're getting a ton of new buildings going vertical now, and there are a lot of permitting happening as well. As far as the mixed use perspective, we're seeing that happen inside of Arlington alongside what Millington's doing. Lots of retail with living situations above it. So we're going to see an increase in population density, which will ultimately result in rising prices. Also, the geographic area that it is allows you to be placed closer to things like the Ford plant, which is ultimately going to help drive prices upward. Then, thirdly, we have Collierville, and Collierville is over to the southeast of the Memphis greater area, and what that place is now known for is really nice areas, clean areas, low crime, and there is a ton of new construction. From a residential perspective, that was growing for the last 10 years, but what's happened is we're starting to see a little bit of a slowdown on that. And we're seeing a very large slowdown in commercial build out because, quite frankly, it's already all built out. You have everything that you would ever want already there, and you're not going to have to drive a very long ways to get to it. It also has just an amazing sense of market presence. Everybody knows Collierville. If you say that you're from Collierville, everybody will say, wow, that's a nice area. They'll assume you do well. They'll assume you have your kids in good schools, all of the things. But the thing that I would warn with Collierville is it's kind of built out. The price points are absolutely maxing out what the local population can afford. And I think because of that, we're going to see downward pressure coming in that market. And we're going to see upward pressure coming in the slightly less expensive market of Arlington, which is ultimately why I ended up buying there, because they're still on the upswing and everything will be slightly newer than what it is in Collierville. Now, let's get into the actual overall recommendations based on all of those things. If you plan to be in the greater area for over 5 years, I would absolutely personally recommend the Arlington Lakeland area. If you plan on being here for a very short window of time, maybe 2 to 3 years, maybe you are military, Millington is absolutely where I would look. You're going to see a lot of infrastructure changes in the meantime, and what's going to happen is you'll probably see growth enough that you build up equity inside of your home. And it can make a lot of sense when they ultimately transfer you out. Or it's also a very good rental market because there's a lot of coming and going of the military. So it's not a bad place to invest your money at all. Now, Collierville is great because it's established and everybody understands it, but at the same time, I would be a little bit wary about paying for really expensive properties in the area because I think that it's going to be hard for the marketplace, at least currently, to continue to push the types of price points that they are selling for. To get homes in each respective market, you're looking at approximately $300,000 for a great house in Millington, about $500,000 in the Arlington market, and about $650,000, $700,000 in the Collierville market. What I can say is when you're along the band, you can still get to almost everything relatively quickly. You can get downtown fairly quickly. You can get to the airport fairly quickly. So the commutes of either one of those options is not going to be something that you're going to have to fret with. If you are considering an actual move here, just let me know. I came, again, like I said, from the Seattle market, and I did a lot of different research before I ended up picking the cities that we did. And it's not just about the investment. Sometimes it's about being close to a school that you particularly like. Sometimes it might be being close to a private school that you want to send your children to. Or it might just be simply the lifestyle that you want to live. If you want to live a rural lifestyle, a more metropolitan lifestyle, if you want to have some extra land, that will affect all of those decisions. And you're going to want to know where the best places are for each of those respective choices. And I'm here to shepherd you across all of those options. I've done it. I've personally done it. And I can say if you're moving here from any other state, almost, this is probably going to be a less expensive lifestyle for you. Not just from a home perspective, but from a state income tax perspective, gas, groceries, everything is a little bit less expensive. Even the taxes on your home isn't very expensive compared to a lot of the, well, quite frankly, very expensive states like what I used to live in. So if any of that is interesting to you and you've been trying to figure out and you're on a journey and you're trying to come here and you don't know what to do or where to start, please reach out to me. Again, my number is on the screen and in the description. I'm here to help. I've been in this business for 12 years. I've helped over $1 billion worth of real estate get traded, and I would love to help shepherd you through the process and make sure that the journey is smooth for you.